Welcome to In the Zone, number 9. I'm Craig Zimmerman, here with another local boy, Matt Distelrath. Thanks for coming down, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Matt, you're different than some of the interviews we've had, and similar to some in the sense that you were born and you were raised and you were reared by the coaches and teachers that we all know.
Oh, yeah.
So give us your background, parents, siblings.
Yeah, so my parents both graduated from St. Clair, live in the same house, same property, I should say, that I grew up on, so they're still there. My brother played, he's a little younger than me, he graduated from St. Clair as well. Yeah, just grew up in St. Clair sports, you know, St. Clair Little League, St. Clair basketball, was a water boy when I was 4th, 5th grade, and then, you know, played for Coach Monty there, and Coach Malowitz in baseball. Yeah, so all the local guys.
All the icons you were under. Now, what year did you graduate from high school?
2000.
Okay, 2000. So you're a veteran coming into coaching now, and you've been doing. We'll start with Little League because your kids now are playing minor league, Little League, and so on.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, my Matt Karras, who's the president of Little League, him and I started coaching Little League when we were just graduated high school. We joked that some people's hobbies was fixing used cars, and ours was coaching Little League. So our first few teams was Jake Cronenworth, Jeremy Carroll, Scott Young, all those kids who played in college, and we're like, man, this is easy.
Right.
But yeah, so we started coaching those guys, and Matt hasn't left Little League, and his oldest is a T-baller, and my oldest is 12 this year, so we've been pretty much doing it the whole time.
Yeah, I got a kick out of it when you first started because you weren't that much older than the Little Leaguers, right?
No, I mean, eight years. I mean, it's not even their age, you know, double their age yet.
Right. Now, I look back on my time in like minor league. There's still a couple coaches that I had back in the day that are still around as well, and come to talk to them, and they were sort of in the same position you were. They were in their early 20s, so they hung around a long time.
Yeah, so it's seen everything when it comes to Little League. Yeah.
Now, being a Distelrath in St. Clair means that you can't go to an event and not run into relatives, right?
No, I go with you know, my boss at the dealership. We'll go to Neiman's, and he says, "Can you not walk in and see anybody that's related to you or that you know?" No, my joke is I always had to go 45 minutes away to find my wife to make sure I wasn't related to him. My mom was a Westrick as well, so I mean that's a lot of St. Clair.
I've often said over the years, and I say it fondly because growing up in Marine City, St. Clair, Marine City people all know each other and are married to cousins and friends and all that. But you take a Westrick, a Distelrath, or a Schweihofer out of St. Clair, what population is left?
That's true. Well, it's nice when I moved back home. You know, I went to school in Ann Arbor and then coached out there for a while and lived, and I always had to spell my last name. At least around here, I don't have to spell it when I order pizza or something.
Right. So you're involved in Little League, and you've got kids at what age?
12, and my youngest is 7, but he's Little League 8. It's a funny thing. His birthday's August, and the cutoff's August 31st. So he's playing this year as an 8-year-old, but he's really 7.
Okay, and the 12-year-old's been playing travel ball since.
So I started a team when he was 5, and the rest of the kids. Or no, he was 6, and the rest of the kids were 7. We started a team, and I was joking with the coach the other day that the team was basically, all right, you were a good high school athlete, you were a good, take your kid. And I think 8 of the 10 that we started with are still playing on a 13U team together now. So it's pretty fun. A lot of St. Clair people and then that. So it's been a fun time.
And they're probably really competitive because they've been playing so long together.
You know, we've been playing, this year we're really playing a lot of travel. And although we haven't won any tournaments, a lot of people will ask, well, where are all your kids going to go to high school?
Right.
And they'll rattle off the 7 of their schools, and I'll say St. Clair.
Yes.
And they'll go, well, all of St. Clair Shores? I'm like, no, St. Clair, the Division II school. And he's like, oh, man. So what we've noticed is, you know, we're very competitive, but just the depth. You know, they've got, the one team we lost to had kids that are going to 9 different high schools, Troy, Athens, and all these ones, and we're all St. Clair. But you can definitely see the improvement. It's been fun. The kids are having a blast playing that level.
My daughter played for Marv Oslin's team playing softball through high school, and they traveled in the summer. And same exact scenario where you're running to an Ann Arbor team where you got kids going to 3 huge high schools in Ann Arbor, or it could be, you know, Ypsilanti, or it could be, you know, and it's like that way. And obviously, you're involved in it so much that as a coach, you're telling your players, listen, we're playing against much bigger schools. You know, like you said, they got kids from 9 schools coming there. It'd be like I've often said, if you took the best kids from St. Clair, picked a couple more from Marine City, a couple more from Marysville, and a couple from Port Huron, you'd go undefeated too.
Yeah, we always joked that we were going to join St. Clair and Richmond Little League together.
Oh, yeah.
And we thought we'd be pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. So you coach the Longhorns, and the Longhorns, is it the 12?
So it started off way back. Jared Toby and those guys were the first group. Jared Toby, Tyler Lowe's, and those guys are got to be 22, 23 now.
I think they're older than that.
Yeah, you're probably right. That was the first group. And we thought, actually, the first group was the older guys. They were the Seminoles. We thought we were going to change college names every year. We decided to stick with the Longhorns. It was just 12 for a while, and then when my kids started playing, we decided to, so now we have a 12. This year we have a 12, 11, 10, 9, and 8.
Okay. And you're playing homage to a different team this year.
So our 13U team, which we've never done that before really, is switched to the Padres. So our uniforms are exactly like San Diego's, and the hat took the D and turned it into a C, but it's a sharp-looking uniform, and obviously with Jake being there and Charlie being such a huge, and even Graham and Cronenworth.
Sure.
You know, when Jake played for us, she was
traveled everywhere.
There wasn't a bigger supporter than her, so we thought it'd be great to honor them, and they're helping us out with some stuff. So.
Right, and you're going down to I say Tiger Stadium, right?
Yeah, I do what
it's a
you
mental
meant.
thing, right? You're going down to Comerica Park.
Yeah, so we've decided to set it up for, they're here for, I think it's a 4-game series in mid-July.
Okay. And you'll probably you'll have a Crone zone full of
Yeah, we got tickets right along, a bunch of us got tickets right at the first base line, right at the cut of the infield, so basically right there, as long as he's playing second that day, which is normal.
And the kids are probably all excited to make posters and different things like that already?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so, anything else? By the time we're seeing this on Channel 6, your Wood Bat tournament probably will be over, but that's always an exciting time.
Yeah, we've got 61 teams coming into St. Clair this weekend. We actually scaled it back a little bit. It used to be like 72. COVID knocked us down to like 50 that year, and we're like, man, that's just so. It was still a huge event, but just made things a little more manageable. But yeah, we've got Taylor coming in. They've got a bunch of kids that were at the World Series last year. In the 12U bracket, we've got teams that were the 11U state champs, runner-up. But yeah, we got teams from all over. So it's a great time, and it's really cool to honor Derek. He was a 3-sport athlete in St. Clair. I remember him when I was my kid's age. Watching him be a great athlete, and Dale and Lois are always around.
Sure.
Dale will umpire a few games. He'll sweep dugouts. He'll cook burgers, and they're super involved, so we really enjoy doing that for them.
So since this will be online tomorrow, when does the tournament start?
So Friday, there's a few games Friday night, 5 and 6:30. And then Saturday morning we start at 8:30, and I think the last game starts at 6:30. And Sundays, there's semis and the finals, and that starts at 9, I believe, on Sunday and runs. Most championships are done by like 3:30.
Okay, so all weekend.
All weekend. The grill will be going. Hopefully weather holds out.
Yeah.
Should be a great time.
Okay, be a great time. Everybody knows where the ballpark is.
Yeah, I can't miss with the big flag we got out there.
Okay. Now, you got a little bit of other things besides working and selling cars at St. Clair Chrysler. You got the baseball and Little League and all that. And oh, by the way, you do a little basketball.
Yeah, so that kind of came up last summer. I helped in the past, and there was an opening, and I talked to Sandy Rutledge, and said, "Are you interested to do it?" I said, "Well, with my work, they've been incredibly flexible with the kids, and they are with the basketball. But I'm talked to Sandy. They've got to be flexible as well. So we practice a little later. We practice in the mornings, and it worked out really well this past year. But like I said, my work at St. Clair Chrysler, they've been so flexible in understanding that being a part of the community is a great thing. We've just got new owners, the Abu Ghanams. They're from Port Huron. They're family people, and they get it. They know how important sports are in that St. Clair, and that being involved is a great thing. So they've been awesome with that. But yes, so it was the first year of varsity basketball. We're real excited about the future, and think we could keep this thing going a little bit.
Yeah. You've got a special assistant with an asterisk by his name.
Oh yeah. So once I got hired, I made a call down to Florida. Called Coach Monty, who was my coach for 3 years, and coached from, I think it was like 80 something to ended up in 2002. Got him on Huddle, which most people laugh at. He had his iPad, and he would scout every third opponent for us. He'd send me a nice long email with everything on it, and he'd coach me as well, which I'm always open to.
Sure. And he's coming back?
He's coming back, so I expect him to probably be in the gym. Like I mentioned before, I think he'll probably be yelling at me more than the players, but that's good. I mean, it's it's never bad to have other opinions.
Sure.
And especially one that's
So
one more
deep,
game, one more games that I've probably coached.
Right. So deep and so knowledgeable.
Yeah, and not to mention he loves St. Clair basketball.
Yeah.
He wants it to be successful more than anything.
Yep. Yep. I had a discussion last week with Coach Fred Shaw talking about his program over the years with the girls and Tony's with the boys, and it was quite a tandem for a lot of years.
Yeah, I mean, he was at some games too. He's got a grandson coming through. If he wants to tell me something, I listen, because there's another guy that talk about wealth of knowledge.
Yep. Now, when do you think, if you can remember back, when did you decide you wanted to be a coach?
When I was in high school.
Okay.
When I was playing in high school for Coach Monty, actually, I decided I wanted to play college basketball, and I wanted to coach. I played growing up. When I was probably my son's age, baseball was by far my favorite. When I got into high school, it really shifted, and I decided I wanted to do that. And I knew the NBA probably wasn't happening. So what's the next best thing was to coach. So played in college, coached in college for I think it was 9 years. Then
where?
At Concordia in Ann Arbor, where I played.
Okay. Yep.
Was there as an assistant, was the head coach the last year. They got a new administration in, some shakeups, and they brought their people in.
Sure.
So then I came back home and started selling cars.
Okay. Life is good.
Yeah, it's good to be home. Obviously, growing up, being involved with the varsity program as a fourth grader, and then playing in it, and that it means a lot to me for it to be successful, and I think the kids bought into that.
Yeah. Yep. Now, besides Coach Monty, what other mentors in coaching do you have?
Coach Lembeck was my coach at Concordia. He was awesome. I had a unique experience. I played for 3 different college coaches because one left, one came, and then another one left. So it was great though, because I got 3 different offenses, defenses, perspectives on coaching. Some super hard, more of a player's coach, and different things. So that was great. Then the guy I learned from a lot the last few years was I helped at Northern 2 years before I took over at St. Clair with Coach Jameson, and him and I, even though we weren't in the same league this year, so it was awesome. We would help each other all the time, and he's probably the best basketball mind in the area. So to be able to pick his brain has been really awesome.
Okay. Any defining moments so far as a coach?
This year for our program, I thought a defining moment was once we beat South Lake at home. The kids it was like it just clicked. They believed they could win. They had a rough year the year before, so they always played hard, and that was the one thing I watched from film. But it was watching them really believe in themselves that we can we're not just going to be competitive. We're going to win games. That was really a defining moment for us this past year. For me personally, it's hard to say. There's so many at so many different levels.
And it seems like a lot of those boys are carrying it on in baseball.
Oh, when I got the varsity basketball coaching job, I talked to Coach Bishop, and we're like, hey, we got to get involved. So I started doing the stats. So that was great, being able to, I knew these kids when they were 12 years old in Little League. Right. Now, but there'd been 4 years. They knew who I was.
Just to know
be
who
around
they are and what they are and their personality.
We had some guys that were on the football team, Kai Pennywell, both Ellis boys, Luke and Logan, Hunter Richardson. So just to be around them in that situation as well was awesome to get with that. But this senior class is a special group. And I told them that when we lost that game to Richmond. I said, you guys don't understand what they did for St. Clair basketball. They made it so, I guess it was cool.
Back on the map?
Yeah. My son played in a basketball tournament with a gentleman a kid from Marysville. The dad came to watch the game because his son was there. And he said he had the coolest comment to me. He said, when I was sitting in the gym watching your guys' game, it felt like it was like the late 90s and the 2000s again.
Back.
And he said the community support, the younger the middle school kids, the high school kids. Now, the visitors' bleachers was empty, but 3/4 of the bleachers were full and made it feel like that. So that's what those kids did. They played hard. Not only did they play hard, but they also were acknowledging these kids like the guys did when I was a young, a middle schooler. So those kids want to play basketball, which I don't know if it's been necessarily to that degree the last few years. So it was cool to get that kind of back.
So the mojo's back.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Just keep at it, and you know the recipe for success as far as how to. Just keep grinding.
And another cool thing I think is Coach Shunk and I from Marysville, we looked at the leagues before the year, and we knew that after this year was a realignment year, and we were a league above them in Port Huron. Marine City was a league below them. So we talked to Coach Hand, and we said, well, what do you guys think about trying to petition up? Right. We'll petition down. And everything kind of worked out. So our league next year is going to be Port Huron, Marysville, St. Clair, Marine City, and Lakeview, and then Port Madison. So they got to come up. But like I was telling the Madison coach, we had to go down there 4 times. So now so it'll be fun. I mean, that should be packed gyms.
I look forward to the packed gyms. Even doing the games for Channel 6, I noticed, and you did some, but in prior, when you play the local teams, there's just an energy in the gym that you don't normally have on the MAC.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll have 4 home games in the league that are all local teams, and 4 road games where the fans can actually go. I mean, the Marine City game last year was packed, and we didn't get to do that a lot. And then we picked up Northern as a non-league, so that's another local one. We're playing Anchor Bay, which is
fairly local.
Yeah. So we've kind of got our schedule that way to kind of keep the involvement and keep the excitement with the program.
Sure. Okay. Now let's talk about your day job down at the Chrysler dealer.
Yep.
So we're in a real interesting time in the automotive world where the basic issue is not enough product.
There's people who want to buy. There's not enough cars. No, it's been a very unique, probably 18 months.
Sure.
As far as being able to get inventory. I mean, people drive through town here and they're like, "Are you guys going out of business?" Like, no, we're not going out of business. We watch the news.
Selling everything we can.
Yeah, we're and the thing is, I was just talking to a customer on my way in here, and they're looking at the new Jeep, and they're like, it's an awesome product, but can you get me one?
Right. So if you want a vehicle, step right up, get a deposit in, and get it ordered.
Yeah, we've shifted to orders.
Yeah.
Talking to some of our older customers, they say that's how it was.
Used to be.
Yeah, Butch Kuhn, who's been selling cars
60 years, right?
Since the 60s.
Yeah.
He said that's how it was when he first started, and it seems how it's going to be when he's done.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what's amazing about that is I can remember when my dad bought cars in the 70s and used to go down to wherever you're going to go and choose the color, choose the options, so it's getting back to that a little bit.
And honestly, the sold orders I had a truck come in 33 days the other day, so it's not crazy unrealistic.
Sure.
So if people are, ahead of the game, if your lease is coming up and that type of stuff, and you hop in, 60 days before, you're not going to have any kind of a problem. It's the procrastinators.
Right. They want it now.
Or it's due next week. I need a car. That's been the slighter, tougher issue, I should say. But no, it's been interesting. But we're plugging away. Like I said, we're just really trying to focus on keeping the St. Clair and the Marine City and the Marysville people
filled up with
local people.
Yep.
Take care of them.
Okay. Thanks for coming in today.
Oh, no problem.
We'll look for you over on Fredmore Highway this weekend.
Yeah, I'll be over there.
And then we'll look for you this fall on the sidelines.
Yeah, I'll be on the football sidelines.
And then this coming winter on the sidelines basketball.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Should be fun. Thanks for having me.
Good job. Yep.